Hey, this is Taylor, and today I want to show you how to make a one pan pork chop, potato, and green bean recipe. And for this, we're going to get started with some Yukon Gold potatoes that have been cut into about 1 inch cubes. Then some fresh green beans. We will take the little stems off the top. Those don't taste very good if they're cooked or not. Optionally, you can break the green beans in two to make them quicker and easier to cook. That's how I like to do it. Or you can leave them whole if you like. It's just dealer's choice, really. I will also be using a little over 2 pounds of thinly sliced pork chops. You could use regular pork chops if you wanted, but I've got a family of five and I'm using the 2 pounds of thin. This baking dish is it's pretty big. It's about 3 inches deep by about a foot across. And again, I'm using a larger pan because I've got a large family to feed. So we'll start by adding a little bit of olive oil over medium high heat. Once that gets hot, we will add in the pork chops. Please be careful not to burn yourself. And you'll try not to crowd the pan. Things do not, meat does not sear, or nothing really cooks well if you crowd the pan. It steams instead of sears. And then you will season both sides with some salt and pepper mix. I'm using Nature Seasons. There it is. And what we're trying to do is just to get a good sear on both sides of the pork chop. As Chef John says, brown meat tastes better. So we'll brown the meat on both sides, working in batches. I didn't brown that side very good, so I wasn't happy with it. So I turned it back over one more time just to ensure a nice, good sear. Again, brown meat tastes better. Once those are brown to our liking, we will transfer them to a bowl or plate. I'm using a bowl because that's what I had on hand, but it really doesn't matter. There, and just make sure your pan has enough accumulated fat, or maybe just a little more olive oil if you need it. Add more as necessary. You may not need more. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the second batch of meat. Again, for reference, I've got a family of five. I'm using just over 2 pounds of thinly sliced pork chop. So we put one side down, season the other. After about 4 minutes at medium high heat, we will flip them. I did a much better job at browning this batch. That's about what they should look like. And again, make sure to season both sides. Once they're browned, remove all the meat to a pan, bowl, plate, whatever. And then we need to deglaze the bottom of the pan. We have a dirty pan, so I'm using about a third cup of a water and vodka mixture. You could really use whatever you want. White wine is a popular choice, vegetable broth. Really, it almost doesn't matter. And then we're going to take somewhere between 1 and 2 tablespoons of salted butter. I use Land of Lakes. You want you're going to want to make sure that butter is completely melted in the pan that we've deglazed. Then we're going to add in the Yukon Gold potatoes. Stir them around in the deglazed gravy mixture. We want to ensure that those potatoes are covered with um, that deglazed gravy, is what I'll call it. Yeah. Then add the pork chops on top. So meat on the bottom, brown pork chops, just cover them as best as you can. Try to work them all in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then we're going to add, be sure to add your accumulated juices. Do not throw those away. They're tasty. And finally, we will top with our fresh green beans that have the stems taken off. Try to flatten them out as best as you can. Again, I'm using about 2 pounds of everything. 2 pounds of the pork chops, potatoes, and a little less than 2 pounds of green beans. You want to top the side of the top, top it with butter. You can chop up cubes of butter. I've got about, um, I don't know, half a stick of butter there. I'm also covering the top with Italian seasoning. Now, this is seasoning that you could use to make Italian dressing with. You can find it in the supermarket, grocery store, whatever. Use about 1 packet per pound of meat and potatoes. I've got 2 pounds of meat, 2 pounds of potatoes, so I'm using 2 packs of the dry Italian seasoning. Just sprinkle it all over the top. Make sure to get the butter pats in there. Then simply cover the pan. Transfer into the center of an oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour. After an hour, pull it out, and it should look like this. The potatoes, green beans, everything should be cooked all the way through. And at that point, you're ready to plate and serve. I'm really bad at plating. This does not look very appetizing, but you end up with enough food to feed a family of 5, and they're happy, and no one's ever complained about this recipe. And it's very simple and easy to make, and I hope you enjoy.